Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Highly Sensitive Healer YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be all about scapegoating yet again. I'd like to stay on this topic if possible because I still have a lot of healing and learning to do on this subject, and I also would like to be able to share it with all of you and kind of the knowledge that I'm gaining plus how things are going along my healing journey, kind of while learning more and more about being the scapegoat. And today I wanted to focus on being the scapegoat and how that can lead to codependency and being a codependent. Now, this is just something that I've been thinking about myself. This is my own personal kind of concept, kind of idea, and it's crazy to me to think about how being the scapegoat can lead to codependent traits later on in life. So that's what this video is going to be all about. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. It's greatly appreciated, and please turn on all notification bells so that you can get alerts when I'm going live and when I'm coming out with videos like this. I truly, truly appreciate it. With that all being said, scapegoats learn certain types of behaviors in order to stay safe, as far as I'm concerned, and from what I've learned. So, as a scapegoat, or as someone who was scapegoated in my narcissistic family dynamic, I truly believe that it's led to codependent traits there. Now, my codependency isn't really bad, but it is present and it is there, and those traits are obvious in some areas. I believe there's some people that are just they're extremely codependent, and you know, their brain took that trauma response, the fawn type, codependent type, whereas my brain didn't take that full avenue, but it did take parts of it, and I believe that was from me being scapegoated. And I've been scapegoated my whole life, from the family dynamic, up in, in childhood all the way up until adulthood, and even in past jobs that I had, I was pretty much the scapegoat. Now, not in all of them, but in most cases, I was the scapegoat. In one particular situation, definitely. And that was a full-time, I was there for like 5 years. It was awful, to the point where I'd actually walk off the job because I had no other option, which is something I just simply wouldn't normally do, but I didn't have any other choice. And the similarities, so scapegoats can have all these issues with relationships going forward in life, and so do codependents. And I believe that codependency aspect of that trauma response, we tend to rely on others for basically how we feel about ourselves. We need others' opinions constantly. We are interested in what others think of us constantly, which that's not a very healthy thing to have going on. It's just really not. And scapegoats are kind of trained in the same sense that if you're scapegoated, it's constantly other people's opinions that you're worried about and that you're trying to get away from, and you're trying to find yourself. Codependents struggle with their sense of self, their self-esteem, self-confidence. Same thing with the scapegoat. I feel like it's difficult for the scapegoat to go and find help and support, but once they do, they can do huge, gigantic things in life. But it's really difficult for them to even get to that point and then maintain it and to keep going forward. Same thing for codependents. Codependents struggle with focusing in on themselves. From what I've experienced and from what I've learned. Even some codependent type people that I personally know or have helped and supported, it's extremely difficult for them to look within and to heal their inner self. They can't even like really look at it. They can't even look at themselves inside. They're not only disgusted with themselves, but like they feel like they don't deserve that help and support for themselves. And all they want to do is just give to others. And this is something that's learned usually in childhood as a coping mechanism, as something to keep you safe. And I believe scapegoats do the same exact thing. The correlation between being the scapegoat or scapegoated in a narcissistic family dynamic and growing up to have codependent traits is highly likely, in my opinion. And this is something I've just been kind of recently thinking about. And, you know, I looked up a couple things here and there, and I'm going to continue to do so. I haven't really seen anybody talk about or write about this so far, but I haven't really dug that far into it. I will be honest. It's something that I would like to research more and dig in deeper, because that's just what I do. It's just, I enjoy it, and I love learning, and you know, this is my healing also. It's important to me. But I believe that, you know, like I said, once the scapegoat, that codependent type person, gets help and support for themselves, and they start to learn how to look within and heal within themselves, emotionally and mentally, more than anything, also physically too, but more mentally and emotionally more than anything. And a big focus on emotionally. There's a lot of emotional damage there, not only mental, but some deep-rooted emotional issues and trauma that needs to be healed. And without that, you know, if you're a codependent type, if you were scapegoated and you're the current scapegoat right now and you can't go no contact, you know, start to heal yourself as much as you can on your own time, on your own, while still being in contact with the narcissistic person or family. But make sure you definitely gain some knowledge about narcissism and the narcissistic family dynamic, because it's vital to be able to keep moving forward and to not stay stuck. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that do stay stuck because they don't get that knowledge. They don't care enough to look this stuff up and to further themselves and to grow as a person. And they stay in that codependent, scapegoated area of their lives because it's all they know, and they just aren't comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's another big key, guys, to remember. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable in order to heal properly and to heal within. That is key. I'm going to leave you guys with what I always leave you with, and that is to, of course, be kind to others, but most of all, be kind to yourselves. It's known as self-compassion. Take care, everybody.